Hello, I'm Harry FlixTV, remember it? No, you don't have to. And I'm going to do a double review video. I'm going to review Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Both, I think, are the best superhero films to come out this year so far. Just a quick update before I start the review. As you can see, I've got a new space, and that's because I've got my own flat. Now, the flat is still connected to the house I'm living in, but I just thought I'd let you know that you're going to be seeing this location for quite a while now. Because I've moved and I've got my own space. But without further ado, let's get on to the review. So, first I will review Guardians of the Galaxy 3. And, this is going to be a non-spoiler review. But all I can say is, this film, man. This film was so good. I might make a spoiler review once the film comes out on streaming and I've seen it again. But this film was so good. Like, it was so emotional, it was so well written, and it was a great final chapter in James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy. I thought he wrote it really well. I thought he gave the series a great send-off, and I very much look forward to seeing more of his work in the future at DC. Now, as you all probably know, the film does delve deep into Rocket Raccoon's backstory, and boy does it deliver. Like, the film manages to make you feel so sorry and so bad for Rocket Raccoon. Like, the first two movies, I think, really did manage to build up to this very moment, and I feel like we all knew when we saw the first two films that it was going to tell Rocket's backstory eventually. Now, I don't read the comics, ironic for a superhero fan, I know, but I don't read the comics, so I wouldn't know how comic accurate everything is. But all I can say is that, yeah, Guardians 3 is so good. Like, I love it. It's a tearjerker, and it's a great final chapter in the Guardians trilogy. Now, I'm gonna give a little bit of a spoiler, really, but no. It's kind of a spoiler, but it's not really, because you can kind of see it in the trailer. I was a little bit disappointed with how they did Gamora by the end, but I will say, I like the direction they took it, and they didn't go in the predictable route, so it was bittersweet. Like, I was a little bit disappointed by the ending, but, well, Gamora's ending anyway, but I'm glad it went for a mature tone. And, also, the way they just kind of ended the Guardians trilogy, at first I was a bit put off by the ending and what they did. By the end, I kind of got, like, Toy Story 4, Ralph Breaks the Internet vibes, to very hated Disney sequels, I might add. But, honestly, I think it was a good decision, especially in the case of Star-Lord. Star-Lord's character in this film was amazing. Like, he wasn't really just the comedic comic relief that the MCU have been portraying him as. In the first two films, he did have that mix of, like, seriousness and comedy relief, but in the case of Guardians 3, they only have little bits of comedy with his dialogue, and it's mostly serious. Like, you can actually feel the emotions and the heartbreak Star-Lord feels when what happens in this film with him occur. And all I can say is that, yeah, Star-Lord is at his best in this film. And as for Drax and Mantis, yeah, I like them. I've always liked them. They weren't my favourite characters, but yeah, I always liked them in the first two movies. And the third one. That's all I'm gonna be saying for Guardians 3, but all I can say is that, yeah, the way they handled Rocket Raccoon's backstory, there's a scene in it, like, I think it's right at the beginning of the film, but the way they handled Rocket's backstory was amazing, and it really made you feel for the raccoon. Honestly, what I will say is that the episode kind of reminds me of Courage the Cowardly Dog, Remembrance of Courage's Past, for a few reasons. Now, if you don't know what that is, look up the episode. It's actually quite good. Courage the Cowardly Dog, for those of you who don't know, was a TV show that premiered on Cartoon Network about a cowardly dog that would deal with the paranormal and supernatural on a daily basis and would have to save his elderly owners constantly. But Guardians of the Galaxy 3 kind of reminded me of an episode of that show called Remembrance of Courage's Past. Now, let me know in the comments if you want me to review that episode or maybe start reviewing cartoons. I might not because I don't want to just. I know a lot of people already do that, and I don't want to just copy everyone. But Remembrance of Courage's Past really reminds me of Guardians 3. Both stories deal with the past and the trauma of the beloved animal character, and both are the final chapters in a popular franchise, the difference being that Courage is a TV show and Guardians is obviously a film trilogy. But that's all I'm going to be saying in terms of Guardians 3. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 of gold stars, and yeah, I think it's probably the best MCU film that's come out so far. And in my opinion, it's definitely the Mine on Hills Grove of the MCU. But that's all I'm going to be saying for Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I'm going to move on to Across the Spider-Verse now. And again, this movie, it was pretty good. I like the story of Miles and Gwen and their relationship, and all the cameos with all the different spider men and women, all the different spider people, was so good. Like, I went to see the film with my mum last Sunday, and it was quite good. It was really good. Probably not as good as the first movie, Into the Spider-Verse, but it was still a banger. It was still worth a watch. And I'd say that in terms of story and how they explain the multiverse, it might just be better than No Way Home. Yeah, I said it. Like, No Way Home was good at developing Tom Holland's Spider-Man's character, and the way they ended that story, but Across the Spider-Verse, the way they tell Miles' story, and the way they give him, that inner conflict of battling between his life as Miles Morales and his Spider-Man, it was really good. And I've noticed a trend here in every second Spider-Man story. It seems to be a theme of every second Spider-Man movie. But yeah, in terms of story, I loved Across the Spider-Verse. And I'm gonna kind of jump on the bandwagon here and say that I do agree that as its own film, Across the Spider-Verse wouldn't work. Like, if it was a standalone film, it wouldn't work. But as a first part in a two-part story, and a sequel to an already fantastic animated superhero film, it's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good. And it kind of felt weird how they didn't really include Spider-Ham, Penny Parker, and Spider-Man Noir. But what they did do with the characters like Miguel O'Hara and other Spider-Man, Spider-People, it's pretty good. And also, I like the whole canon event thing. I like the whole canon event concept where a person in Spider-Man's life had to die in order for the multiverse to get together, or in order for Peter Parker or any variant of Spider-Man to be Spider-Man or Spider-Woman. Not gonna lie, it was a little bit of a weird concept, but I really loved how they played on that. How seemingly a character in Spider-Man's life had to die in order for Peter Parker or Miles Morales or Spider-Gwen or any Spider variant has to grow and become Spider-Man or Spider-Woman. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna say for Across the Spider-Verse. I give Spider-Verse, I think, a 9 out of 10, or maybe an 8 out of 10. Just because, like, the only reason why I don't rank it higher is because, again, it shouldn't really work as its own film, but it's like a 2-part story. Yeah, it definitely does work, and like Lewis Film said once, you kind of have to watch the films back to back in order to get the idea, in order to have a complete story. It's not like Infinity War and Endgame, where Infinity War ends on a semi-cliffhanger, but it feels like a complete film. And another thing I will say is, when I first heard that Across the Spider-Verse was going to be a 2-parter, I initially thought they were going to do what Infinity War did and just have... Yeah, I initially thought they were going to do what Infinity War did. But no, they surprised me. But I will leave you to figure that out for yourself. That's all I have to say for now. I give Guardians 3 a 10 out of 10. And I think I give Into the Spider-Verse about an 8 out of 10. But that's all I've got to say for today. Keep an eye out for my review of the Morgue Files case number 4. Because that'll be coming maybe today or tomorrow, I think. That'll be coming at some point this week. So keep an eye out for that. I'm Harry Fleet TV. Remember, you don't have to.